Okay, continuing where we left off. So we see Emperor Zurg shows up and he wants to recruit Dragonus as his general. And let's see how this goes.
This conversation is closed.
Yeah, he refuses the offer because he feels insulted.
I'd love to have this drop.
And then we see Demona and Destro joining forces with Starscream? So, yeah, I did finally watch Transformers Animated. I've only seen the first season, and hopefully I'll watch season 2. And you know the whole scene with Starscream putting a bomb on the back of Megatron? That was literally in the first episode. Yeah. Until, well, it was in season 1, and what I saw the first time, get to know this series, it started off look like a history documentary, and it has the footage of the 80s version of Transformers with the battle between the Autobots and the Decepticons. And Optimus Prime was just watching it just to learn all about it, and he sounds like, he doesn't have that iconic voice that we all are familiar with. He sounds like he's in his 20s. He sounds like he's from like his college student, like he just graduated. And he was also like one of the construction workers, along with like there's Bumblebee, Bulkhead, and Ratchet, and there's many characters you probably know if you're Transformers fans. They found the Allspark, and they were going to get one of the Autobots to, the contact, but they were attacked by the Decepticons, and it was also like, it was actually the first time that Megatron and Optimus Prime first met, and they become rivals. Yeah. And then the whole bomb thing on his back by Starscream happened, and then they landed on Earth, and it was like 500 years. And yeah, the Decepticons have not really aged. They look the same as they were past way before 500 years. So I'm not sure how the age works for them. Like, they must have lived longer than people. So yeah, they woke up, they saved the city from like these giant insects that were mutated, and they became heroes. And then they had to deal with Starscream, who was now the leader of the Decepticons. And until Megatron tricked a certain scientist into rebuilding him, until in the 2 episodes left on season 1, he finally got rebuilt, and he became like the leader of the Decepticons again. So, yeah, just thought I'd point that out. So I'm hoping to watch season 2. So I'll probably leave the link to both season 1 and 2 for you guys. And hold on.
Pardon forever all crimes in which he stands accused.
So Ramesses, let me read this again. Yeah, completes rebuilding Egypt and prepares to strike out on his own, lifting Hotep and Hoi out of exile. Ah, nice of him to bring them back. And he also got a new advisor, the Kralahome, but his eyes is set on a noblewoman, Sulika. Hold on.
Impressive.
Ah, great, Ramesses a perv. Let me get a drink for a minute. Sulika, she's basically the character from Joseph, the King of Dreams. It's basically a prequel movie to The Prince of Egypt. It's not a midquel, not a sequel, but a prequel. And not only that, it's basically, just like with The Prince of Egypt, that's based on the Bible, Joseph, the King of Dreams, is based on the book of Genesis. Yeah, it's also a Bible animated movie. So, Joseph, he's basically the son of Jacob. Like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Well, Joseph is the son of Jacob, and he has like 11 sons, and I think that makes, would he be the 11? I think Joseph would be like the 12th son, and it's like he's also been known as the miracle child, and I think the reason that is because he can predict dreams. Joseph has a gift of predicting the messages of dreams, because if you know every mythologies or stories about the messages, like dreams are often portrayed as messages. So Joseph is able to predict the dreams that are like the visions of what's going to happen, and his 11 brothers, they're very jealous of him because they mostly do all the chores while he does, special teachings and stuff, and they're very jealous of him. Like, hey, we're Jacob's sons too, why don't we get the treatment as him? They really do not like him. Really. Like, oh, great, here goes the dream boy. They often pick on him, tease him, and one thing Jacob did gave to Joseph is a rainbow coat, which I think it is. It's like a coat of many colors. And this one's gonna be really a bit tense. So his brothers end up like roughly tease him, bully him, but they just end up throwing him into the well. Yeah, and then they got him out of the well. They sold him into slavery, and he ends up being a slave in Egypt. So there was like a slave auction, and he was picked by this dude called Potiphar, which I hope I pronounced it, and he was his slave master. But Joseph and his slave master Potiphar, they end up becoming friends. So Potiphar ends up liking Joseph, and they have like a close friendship. But his wife, who they never addressed her as Zuleika, so I guess they just gave her the name for this film's sake. So he was Potiphar's wife. She tricked her husband to think of his behavior, Joseph's behavior, and it caused Joseph to be locked up. And he met some certain prisoners who were in there, and they talk about the dreams they had, and so Joseph did listen, and he told what the dreams meant, and he would be, so that in 3 days that the man would be working for the Pharaoh, going out of prison. And for the other one, got executed. Yeesh. So when he was still in prison, the Pharaoh kind of had a dream, and this dream is that there were 7 really skinny cows, and cows are supposed to be fat. So in this dream, the cows were very, very skinny. So they came from the river and ate up 7 fat cows. And the king has tried to get so many people, like his advisors or their own magicians or whatever, like many people, but no one can tell or what the vision meant. And one of them that suggests Joseph can help out. And of course he tells them about, the Pharaoh tells him about the 7 skinny cows ate the really fat ones. And it turns out it's sort of like a symbolism. It's that the famine is coming. So if the famine's coming, then, if you guys know about the famine and stuff like that, so they had to gather all the food, and everyone's like, quarantine or something like that, so they gotta get many food. And the Pharaoh ends up having Joseph as one of his advisors, put him in charge. And it was like 7 years. So yeah, the famine has been going around till 7 years. So everyone's been quarantined, been 7 years. And after 7 years, everyone gets out and they praise Joseph like the hero. And they had to get all their stuff out, and actually they got to buy some food. And when Joseph kind of recognized a few people, there were 11 of his brothers just showed up, wanted to buy food, and he just accused them as spies. It was basically just his revenge on them for how they treated him, put him in the well, they got him slave owner, all that stuff. Got one of them arrested, and it later revealed that he's now got a younger brother, and the brothers have is a new younger brother named Benjamin. So, let them live in the... So Joseph did kind of made a trick, like Benjamin stole something, and he was going to be locked up, and they begged for, not to be thrown away, and Joseph kind of reveals himself, and they were like, okay, they did not recognize him at first, but until when he reveals himself to be Joseph, they were like shocked and surprised. And oh yeah, I also forgot about the whole, they end up bowing down to him. So when they didn't recognize him, so that was in one of his dreams, that the brothers did bow down to him. So that became a reality. So yeah, Joseph did tell his brothers that he can get his family and all the Hebrews to come to Egypt. So, just to live there. And then years passed, and when Joseph died, everyone kind of forgotten all about him. So I guess no one kept track of the history, huh? And then all the Hebrews end up becoming slaves. Yeah. So Joseph the King of Dreams, when it's portrayed, it was, I'm sure you guys probably think it probably got the same, excitement and really cool story since Prince of Egypt. It was alright. So, I think the issue is that, it just didn't do well in theater. So, Prince of Egypt did do well in theaters. Joseph did not. So, Prince of Egypt, it was loved and adored by audience and critics. Yeah, Prince of Egypt, let me get. Prince of Egypt was loved and adored by audience and critics. Joseph the King of Dreams was not adored and loved by audience and critics, and I liked it. It was okay. So I'm going to use this video as an example from this meme of ranking the Assassin's Creed memes. So one for the Prince of Egypt, and one for Joseph the King of Dreams.
I mean, it's alright,
like that. So you guys might get this whole thing. Sorry, I just want to explain this whole thing, so I'll probably leave the link to the review of Joseph the King of Dreams. If there are some things from the parts of the Bible on the book of Genesis with Joseph, let me know if there are some things I might have missed out.
let's show them something truly barbaric.
And then we see Alexander Anderson meeting up with Frollo again, but this time he's got Enrico Maxwell with him. How'd it go? Hold on. Yeah, Frollo is approached by Enrico Maxwell, the head of the Iscariot organization.
My name is Enrico Maxwell. I'm the head of the Iscariot organization. It is an honor to meet you.
How dare you defy me? Shut up!
You really expect us to just let you do as you please? Excuse me.
Huh? But Frollo does not recognize Maxwell. Just doesn't recognize Maxwell. Does not recognize that it's the little boy who was the son of the mother he killed. Hold on.
Lesson needs to be learned here. Oh, how absolutely very.
Get out, you idiot.
The next time I swear I will rip him to bloody pieces.
Yeesh. And then we see, looks like Jafar is still around. Yep, and he meets up with this certain ghost.
I am Jafar, the Scourge of Agrabah, once the most powerful sorcerer in the world. What?
Looks like I'm going to stop right here, so see you guys in the next part of this commentary.